Blessed love to each and every one. Salamta. We do definitely greet you in the name of Emperor Haile Selassie I. It is a joy that you have decided to accept our invitation to come into the Tiger's Nest for this evening's special presentation. We're going to have a wonderful lecture in a few moments. We are entitling this one, Green Castle Hill, the Spirit of Antigua. And as you know, this is a free online lecture. It will also be on other platforms outside of this one. And I will be the presenter, your humble host, the Honorable Priest Isaac. And let me just say before we go into the depths of this lecture was specially or specifically designed for the individuals who were born in and live in the island of Antigua. So in other words, we have an international platform, and this may surprise some of you in the international community, but a lot of what we're going to speak of tonight, you have heard it already, but we have gone out of our way as such to invite the people of Antigua to tune into this specific lecture tonight, because it has been almost 2 decades since we have been on this journey of edifying the nation of Antigua and Barbuda, as well as the international community as it relates to Green Castle Hill. So in the same way, some of you in Sweden, in Canada, in England, in Trinidad, some of you in California, you have left where you are, not just to come to see Antigua, you have left your home to come to Antigua for the first time, but specifically to see Green Castle Hill because you've heard the Honorable Priest Isaac speak about it. All right. Now, in that same fashion, you have come and been to Green Castle Hill maybe several times. Many people in Antigua don't even know where Green Castle Hill is. So obviously, most of you, even those who have never come, you have a greater knowledge of exactly what is taking place on Green Castle Hill and in Antigua, more than than many individuals that were born and bred here. So this is why we have this educational campaign. This is why we wrote the book Anu, Ancient and Modern. This is why we continually do the equinoxes and the solstices, because these are key dates. And this is why we explain what the equinoxes and the solstices are. And we are going into some of that this evening. So this specific presentation is actually brought to you by this year's summer solstice virtual experience. And this is just 2 days away from the 17th to the 20th day of June. That's from the 17th of June, Thursday, the 17th of June, until Sunday, the 20th day of June. Again, that is the summer solstice, the virtual edition. So this year, of course, as always, we are having the double hike. It's important to see the rising of the sun in the morning. We are having the sunrise and the sunset hike. It is key to see the sun going down in the evening on these key dates. But trust me, by the time this lecture is over, you will have a good understanding of what this is all about. And don't forget the cannabis tour and lecture, the cannabis educational tour, and the Rastafari live chalice talk. I definitely am looking forward to that. And remember, we have a very special feature this year. We have the brother, the griot. I'm talking about Brother Paddy Simon. He'll be definitely be with us. He definitely will be with us, kicking such information. So we're going to speak about this more as we go more into the lecture. But let us meditate now on Green Castle Hill, the spirit of Antigua. Now, of course, as I said, I am somewhat, and I would like the international family to be with me as we concentrate on the family that actually lives in this island here. This is the island of Antigua. This is 108 square miles, again, in the northeastern section of the Caribbean. many things can be said of the land. You could speak of what people consider the original inhabitants, the Arabs and the Caribs and the Taino people. You could speak of in the 1490s when Christopher Columbus supposedly discovered it, but he met the same people here, though, but he discovered it. You could speak of its independence on the 1st of November, 1981. And you could go into so many different aspects of its history. But there's something about Antigua that stands out that most people, as I said at the beginning, don't know about. And for some reason, it appears as if the authorities going way back have no interest in the people knowing about it, to the point that it looks as if they're trying to hide it, to the point that they're even destroying this unique aspect of the heritage and the history of this island. Now, this is the range of mountains known as the Shirley Mountains in the southern region of the island. We did a wonderful program entitled The Heliopolis, the Ancient and the Modern. Definitely after this, you should watch that one. We will put the link for that video in the description below. But anyway, when you observe the Shirley Mountains in the south, this is where you have the highest peak, a peak, the peak they call Buggy Peak. But to the east of these, or this mountain range, I should say, there is a little hill known as Green Castle Hill, also called Shah Hill. And this Green Castle Hill sits between the village of Bendels and the village of Jennings. Now, what is unique about this Green Castle Hill? As I said, amongst the taller peaks, it is like the smallest of the peaks. But yet still, when you go into the realms of Green Castle Hill, you would see something on Green Castle Hill that is not seen anywhere else on the island. In fact, when we go into the depths of our studies, what is seen on Green Castle Hill is not seen anywhere else in the world. Now, I've said it before, no matter how many videos we do, no matter how many pictures we take and come and show you from all angles, even if no matter what we do, books that we write, unless you come, even the virtual edition, unless you come, we could send a drone up in the air and scope the hill. Unless you come and see with your eyes the beauty of Green Castle Hill, you will not fully comprehend, grasp, or even understand the magnificent, again, power that exists on this magnificent hill, Green Castle Hill. This is us going towards the eternal city. So what you have on Green Castle Hill, and before I continue, especially those who are watching in Antigua, those who are watching, as they say, in the diaspora and all of that stuff, what I want you to do, this is your duty tonight. You definitely got to work with me. I hardly ask people to share videos, but I want you to specifically share this video, share this link, whether it's on your Facebook, you could share the link on your Instagram, share it with your family. Trust me, this is very, very important, especially if they are associated with this land, so they can clearly understand the science that we have been talking about for all of these years. So share it. If you have a YouTube page or whatever, and you don't have a video on it, you just use it to comment on people's channel, put a video on it, share it, and let the world see this specific one I'm asking. So let's get to sharing, my family. Please do that with me. In fact, share the live premiere live stream, so ones could come in and join it as well, even as we speak, because we're going in. We're going in. I mean, they missed a lot already, but if they come in now, we are going in. All right. So Green Castle Hill, basically, again, You have countless, this is just a description of exactly what you have. You have countless of megaliths protruding out of the earth. The hill is just a few feet under 700 feet, just giving you an idea. And you have countless, and we're not exaggerating here, you have countless of megaliths that just spread across this hill. Now, the vast majority of these megaliths, again, protrude out of the earth. In fact, all of them protruded out of the earth, but some of them have fallen. We would refer to these as the boulders. But those that stand, the megaliths themselves, the steelers, like these ones, most of them resembling the phallic stone. But the phallic stone is an obvious stone. The phallic stone stands out. This is the stone that represents the erected penis, which is the symbol as well of power. So again, keep this in mind. Countless of megaliths. Because when you come on the tour with us, and of course, when we, this Sunday, we are inviting the nation now, the people in Antigua. If you're in Antigua Sunday, of course, you know we are doing this Sunday hike. We are meeting at 3 o'clock. That's 3 p.m. in the afternoon, opposite of the Ebenezer gas station. You're with me now? We are meeting at 3 p.m. Sunday, the 20th day of June 2021, opposite the Ebenezer gas station. Yes, Ebenezer, that's just the area below Greencastle Hill, Ebenezer, you know, the place of the sacred stone. Them is biblical names. Go in your metaphysical dictionary and check it out. So everything is well aligned, you know, as it relates to even the location. Ebenezer to the northwest, and Emmanuel to the northeast. These are the little areas that surround Greencastle Hill. The area where it is called Greencastle as well, an area that is rich with water, many water holes and ponds and springs coming out with the water. They even destroyed a vein on the Greencastle Hill as they were demolishing the hill, and it created an artificial pool. So it's a very rich area. Obviously, this is a land, follow me, family. This is an island. All of this is on Greencastle Hill, going up, going towards the phallic. This is not the phallic. This is amongst a cluster of megaliths, you know, that creates its own city, that creates its own story, because all of these clustered areas have their own story. There's a whole area on the Greencastle Hill that is a space observatory that has little stones as if they're rocket ships ready to take off. I'm telling you, and all of this is natural. The mountain is alive. It expresses itself. It has the female and the male reproductive system. Nobody came and placed them there. They have an individual, they say, doing a documentary on Greencastle Hill, someone that we know. In fact, we were the ones that told them about the hill and explain how to get there, and even try to work with them. And now they're trying to do a documentary having nothing to do with us. You know how it is with the white elephant in the room syndrome. And they're telling people in the documentary that the Caribs and the Arawaks placed these stones there. I challenge them to come and prove that. Nobody can prove that. In fact, we can prove that the stones, all of these stones you are looking at here, they're coming from hundreds of feet down in the earth. I'm talking about molten lava that has crystallized into what we have now as these megaliths. And all you have to do is to observe the side of the mountain that has been destroyed by the quarry companies that have besieged the hill. And you could see the stones that are still alive protruding out of the destroyed area and coming to the top. I will show you that in a moment. But I'm showing you now for those who may not know again. You know, as I said, for all the subscribers, and remember, not only subscribe to this channel, but make sure you put on the notification bell So when we come with live premieres like this, and when we come live in general, you know that we're there. You don't come in and say, oh man, I didn't know that, man, I missed it. No, make sure the notification bell is on. So you have the stellars here protruding. Remember, there are countless of them. How many did we say? 100,000? How about 500,000? What about a million? No. Definitely there are more than a million of these up there. I'm not exaggerating. This is no exaggeration. This is not just a mound, you know. This is a very vast hill, you know, acres upon acres. It's a big space, and at least 1/3 of it has been destroyed. Can you just imagine that? They started to eat this hill out from its borders to the east. You want to tell me the people that destroyed 1/3 of this hill, when they began to eat it away, they never thought to think twice and say, well, this is an interesting place here. Do you think we should use this for a quarry site? I mean, I've never seen nothing like this. Let's try somewhere else. It's nothing hidden. It's not as if you have to go a certain spot to find these stones. Once you are at the hill and you start to climb up, there they are. All right. This is the vulva. This is the, as you could see, it's in the shape of the V. And as we expressed in that lecture that I said you will find in the link below, you actually see the sunlight, you know, being expressed there on the rising of the morning there, close to the equinox. And you could express and see the brightness of the sun as it relates to the alignment of the vulva. We will explain all of that in a moment. So that is the master phallic stone there, also known as the penis of Geb. We have dubbed it that as it comes out of the earth, and the lost penis of Osiris, deep science. And this itself is aligned quite well with the vulva. And we will explain all of that in a moment. Give thanks for the Honorable Rastri just coming through the vulva there. This is a time where there was a lot of grass growing on the mountain. Brother Coyote Erasto also sitting on one of the mighty steelers. There are many of these, many of these that are on the hill. Give thanks to the young Olmec, also going through a natural pathway with some boulders and some mighty steelers. All of this is Greencastle Hill. You've never come to Greencastle Hill and you live in Antigua. I hope you are with us this Sunday for sure, which is the 20th of June. That's the same day as Father's Day. That's the 20th of June. 3 p.m. You could definitely be there at the Ebenezer gas station. Give thanks. Also, now this is a view from Greencastle Hill, where we are observing. Even in the background, you see the mountains there. This is very close to the area known as Hermitage, very close to the Five Islands area. And at certain times of the year, the sun has a specific alignment, like from even these keystones. You can see they are naturally aligned with this setting here. And then at another time, the sun would come through here. And depending on exactly which monument you are at, because this is in the eternal city, even from the vulva, you get a perfect alignment with these mountains. So this is another aspect of the hill. This is the area where they are destroying. This is the eastern part of the hill. So the hill was all here. All of this was the hill. This is the destruction that is being meted out by the quarry. This destruction is primarily the Antigua masonry product is primarily responsible for this specific destruction of the natural stone hill. This is a hill. This is like one of them hills that are mountains that King Lalibela would have used, even expressing exactly his mission there. All right. So what I'm saying now, family, that's like a quick run through as it relates to Greencastle Hill. But what is the mystic now with these stones? I hope everyone is okay. And don't worry, we're not going to be long, but we're coming down strong though. You see, In the early 2000, 2003, thereabouts, an archaeoastronomer, Dr. Maura Imbert, from the University of the West Indies in Trinidad, she came to Antigua, and she, along with some of the members from the Benders community, for example, Brother Ewart Isaac, they did some studies. Well, it was her mission. She had her team with her, and they studied some of the key stones that I have just highlighted to you: vulva stone, the phallic stone, etc., etc. And in her report, I mean, she speaks of it resembling that the whole science of the azimuth of certain stars are similar to the azimuth of stars in the main understanding of astrology and astronomy. And she made a key statement that the phallic stone, the very same erected penis, has a specific alignment with the Little Dipper on the 21st day of March every year. Now, this means that on the 21st day of March, which is actually the spring equinox, the key point, one of the key points of the hill, which is the center of power, because the phallic stone represents the obelisk, like you see, or the tekenu, the same obelisk type of figure that you see on the steeple of some churches, the same obelisk type of figure that you see in Washington, the Washington Monument. That's an obelisk. You know, there's an obelisk in the middle of St. Peter's Square, where you have the Vatican, in the Vatican, I should say. So it's a symbol of power. All these other obelisks are man-made obelisks, but they symbolize the erected penis. So this stone here has an alignment with the Little Dipper, which really represents the center of the earth, or the center of the celestial heavens. Pardon me, the center of the celestial heavens. So let me just quickly now give you an understanding of what all of that means. And again, this information here, basically we have covered some of this in a previous lecture, but just to run through on another level for the family. We just spoke of the alignment of the rocks on Greencastle Hill with the movements of the heavens. It's not just that one stone that is aligned with the Little Dipper, but all the stones, all the cluster of megaliths have their own connection with specific stars, with specific planets, of course with the moon, and definitely with the sun on an annual basis and an all year around basis. Okay, follow me good. Of course, we all comprehend that the earth itself, in its movement through the heavens, really creates what we see. In other words, there was just an eclipse the other day. Some people saw it, some people didn't see it. The new moon came between the earth and the sun. And from earth, listen to me, good family, from earth, the new moon, or the moon itself, covered the sun so perfectly that it left just this bright ring around it that looked like a ring of fire. In fact, they were referring to it as the ring of fire eclipse. But what I am saying here, obviously we know that the sun is much, much bigger than the moon. 99% of the mass of the solar system is the sun. And the moon now, the sun, I should say, is 93 million miles away from the earth. The moon is about roughly 200,000 miles approximately, very approximate figure, but you can see the difference. So the point is that the sun is so much farther away from the earth than the moon, but yet the sun is so much bigger than the moon. So that is why from the distance, it's like mathematics. The distance of the sun in relation to its size, when taking consideration the distance of the moon in relation to its size, it gives the impression as if the both of them are the same size. That's the impression. What did I say? That's the impression that it gives. It looks so, apparently. So what happens is that when the moon passes in front of the sun, it appears as if the moon has blocked out the light of the sun. But this only happens, the new moon, the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun, even the sun as it goes north in July, June, July, and it goes back to the south in December. All of this because the sun is not moving. The sun is not dancing. The sun is not rising up in the morning and going down in the sea water in the afternoon. The sun is not doing none of that. It is because the earth is rotating and revolving. Is because the earth is rotating and revolving around the sun. Plus, listen to me good, plus it has a 23.5-degree angle. I would not go into the depths of that. We covered that in the video that I'm telling you go into the link to get. And because of this, you get this impression of the movements of the sun. Because of this, you also get the impression of the movements of the stars. The stars are not moving. Well, everything in that has life has motion, because the sun is moving in the sense that the sun is alive. The sun is electricity. So the sun rotates. The sun has a rotation as it relates to its electromagnetic field line of the equator, and it has an electromagnetic field line that connects the poles of the sun. So the sun does move. It does rotate, but it's not moving in the sense as we see it, rising in the morning, setting in the night. No, it's not doing that. Going to the north, going to the south. No, it's the earth going around. And of course, the angle. Now, I'm sure you already know this, but I just have to somewhat, bring it to remembrance again. And because of the earth and its movement, all these other points are created. So for example, in the sky, there's a northern celestial pole. Just like on the earth, there's a north pole. Well, in the sky, there's a north pole. Wow, can I go there? Not exactly, no, because it doesn't really exist. It's an apparent thing. It just appears as if it's there. How did this happen? It all has to do with the movements of the earth. Again, you must keep in mind, this is very important as it relates to Greencastle Hill, and this may sound strange, but if you are an Antiguan, you should know this. Yeah. So I am saying that in relation to the heavens, and understanding the heavens appears, we're sticking with the word appears, as if it's like a ceiling, a dome ceiling. This is how it looks, as if it's a dome ceiling with stars, dots of lights on the ceiling, which we call stars. But we know that these dots of light, although from here they appear as if they're right next to each other, sometimes they may be light years away in the distance. Some stars that you see are 4 and 5 stars. And the closer you get, you see them start to separate, but the brightness of the light. Some of them are 2 stars. Most stars are binary stars, 2 stars. Some of them are clusters. Sometimes you're calling a whole galaxy a star, but because of the distance, So I'm showing you now that because of this and the movements of the earth, remember the earth has a specific turn. And because of this, it creates a celestial North Pole. So, very important, family, listen good. The stars, especially those on the equator, because you have a terrestrial equator, and if you superimpose the terrestrial equator, you get the celestial equator. And there are stars on the celestial equator that rise and set just like the sun. But there's stars in the northern heavens that do not rise and set for those of us in the northern hemisphere. They just go around a central point. In fact, there are stars so close to a point known as the celestial pole. Celestial means the sky or the heavens. These stars hardly move. In fact, there's a star known as Polaris. It's called the pole star. And no matter what time of day you come out, it's always going to be at the same spot. So why is it that some stars rise and set and some don't move? It all has to do with how the earth rotates, because these stars ain't rising nor setting. It's because of where we are. If you were on Mars, Venus, Jupiter, you'd be looking at something different. But because of where we are on the planet Earth, the moon and the sun appears to be the same size. It's the hand of the Most High that created all of this. Then you have constellations that give a figure as if you're looking at an animal like the scorpion, the lion, and they are real. Trust me. I remember we read the heavens. So I am not asking you. There are clear constellations out there. Orion is obvious. Orion is a man with a sword and a shield standing with his belt. Trust me, that is the artistry of God Almighty. Leo is an obvious lion. The Scorpio, there's certain ones that are even difficult to see, but there are some very clear constellations that even an amateur can look up and see when you say, look at this. Oh, yes, especially the Scorpion and especially Orion. Very easy to see. And I mean, they are what they are. So do not deny the power of the Most High. So I'm just showing you quickly that these constellations and stars, those on the celestial North Pole, they rise and set because of how the earth rotates. Not celestial North Pole, pardon me, the celestial equator, they rise and set. But those in the celestial North Pole, they just go around, all right. It's just in the same fashion, the way the earth moves. That is why, the equator, you have the tropics, but when you go up, it gets colder. And the sun has a weird way to rise and set in places like Canada. Sometimes, the day is extremely long and the sun is all up 9 o'clock. It has a lot to do with the lines of latitude, whether it be going north or south. Is the same thing with the heavens, because remember, the heavens is almost like a mimic of what's going on the earth, because what is happening in the heavens, it only looks so because we are on the earth and the way the earth spins. Okay, I know you have that perfectly. Now, I wouldn't go through all of this. This just has to do with location of stars. This is something even Mara Imbert mentioned, the whole aspect of the azimuth of the stars from Greencastle Hill's view, aligns very well with the azimuth of the stars that the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Incas had in their records. But this is basically how you track a star, even the sun. You have to know the altitude, the azimuth, which is really the angle in degrees coming from true north going around clockwise, and that's basically it in alignment with the stars. So it actually changes as the time goes by. Now, basically, this is also from another lecture we just did, and it has to do with how the pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Giza, how it was naturally built to align with the movements of the stars again. The pyramid was built geologically and geometrically in such a way that the little shafts of this massive structure was built to align with the central point of the heavens. At the time, the pole star was Thuban, but because the heavens move and the ages change, it has a new pole star, which is Polaris, but the gigantic pyramid still aligns with the heavens. Now, I'm showing you that just quickly to highlight the importance of the alignment with stars now and the sun and the movements of the heavens. So here we have, this is Stonehenge in England. This one here is in Brittany. This is Karnak, but that's a different Karnak, that's with a C. If you notice, this is not Greencastle Hill. You'll notice that there are many megaliths here. All right. The same thing with Stonehenge. In fact, Stonehenge is considered the granddaddy. They refer to Greencastle Hill as the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. Now, Stonehenge itself in England, just quickly, as you could see how it is built, it has some uprights and some horizontal blocks, or I should say megaliths themselves. But this is how it originally stayed. It was a full circle. This is what a Stonehenge is. Greencastle Hill is not a Stonehenge. A Stonehenge is a circle of these upright megaliths, or what they call menhir. But you see, in Green Castle Hill now, we don't have menhirs. Menhirs is a freestanding as such stone, a stone you actually put there. So our megaliths are not necessarily menhirs. But watch this, family. This is what I really want you to understand. Watch me good now, family. If you notice the way that Stonehenge is built, at the rising and the setting sun, the equinox would give off a shadow, and the sun is seen rising between specific points of Stonehenge to highlight the importance of that festival. So obviously, wherever the sun or the light is behind or in front of you, your shadow will fall. So at the rising of the spring equinox and the fall equinox, at Stonehenge, the rising of the spring equinox and the going down, setting of the fall equinox, there's a specific alignment from that axis, which will be an east-west axis, because the equinox is equal day and night, and that's when the sun rises due east. Both equinoxes, spring equinox in March, fall equinox in September. You understand? And the solstice is when the shadow now, if the shadow is centrally gone to an angle, because the solstice is when the sun is at its most northern point, and that's the summer solstice, while the winter solstice is when the sun is at its most southern point. So here you have a specific alignment with the rising of the sun, which would be in the spring equinox here at Salisbury, at Stonehenge. So this is the idea. I'm just giving to you the ancient idea and understanding of alignment. So the monument is built in such a way, and it also shows that the people of this time had a certain level of understanding of astronomy. All of what we just ran through there as quickly as we did, because we didn't take no time with that, but it's obvious they had to have had a level of understanding, not just watching the sun, especially when it comes to stars, to align a star or several stars and movements of stars with a little shaft in a great megalithic monument, the biggest monument on the planet, which is the pyramid. That is serious scientific understanding. That's a professor, more than a professor. That's a serious level of scientific understanding, astronomical understanding, to be able to calculate the movements of the heavens up until 3,000 years after the building of the monument. This is before the time of all these softwares and apps that we have that can follow the heavens. So in Stonehenge, the alignment is seen on the equinoxes and the solstices, going through certain specific pillars that have been designed for that. And again, this is the view, and this is how it was supposed to be in the beginning. This is me here at Stonehenge as well, several years ago. This is also this is in Ireland. This is a place known as Newgrange. And Newgrange now was also created to align with the winter solstice sunrise. So it's observed in this way. This is due east. So the axis here is east-west. And it has a window and it has a door. And what's interesting is that when the light of the sun goes through the window, it hits and illuminates right at the back in the holiest of holies. When it comes through the door, it doesn't go all the way through. And again, this is at the sunrise of the winter solstice. You could see it here from inside as well. Abu Simbel as well. Abu Simbel has a specific alignment on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of February, and the same thing in October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of February. This is in Kemet in Egypt. This is the temple of Ursa Ma'atra Setepenra Ramessi Murray Amun II. People profanely call him Ramesses II, and there's a specific alignment, specific what we call hierophany. Hierophany is when the astronomical clock aligns with the expression of some sort of revelation, which shows here with the four figures. This is the god Ptah, this is Amun-Ra, this is the owner of the tomb, or the temple, I should say, Ramesses II, and this is Ra-Harakate. And the light comes through and shines on these three at the dates that I just mentioned a moment ago. This is the pyramid of Kulkukan. And this is in the Yucatan area now. And what you have here is from the Mayan kingdom, showing you a specific alignment with this pyramid, is that on the 21st day of March, or I should say specifically on the equinoxes, 21st and March as well as September, at the setting of the sun, what you get on this angle here is the sun casts such a shadow that it gives the impression as if a snake is coming down the stairs. You see, the head is naturally built into the stairs. But now, when they on that specific day, you get that view as if the Kukulkan, because the snake now in the ancient Mayan kingdom, the feathered snake specifically, in fact, all of these kingdoms always saw the feathered snake and the snake in general as a very highly divine animal. Even in the Bible, you know, when Christ says, just as Moses lifted up the serpent, so shall I be lifted up, as he compared himself. So the serpent is not always an evil animal as such. You know, even in the same Bible, the Lion of Judah is seen to be like Christ, but yet still Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom was described as a lion. So it's all symbolism. So it's very important to have that frame of mind, you know, before you get carried away with doctrine when it comes to a lot of these things. So in the realms of symbolism, the snake represents Quetzalcoatl or Kulkokan from the Olmec kingdom, the same huracan, where you get the word hurricane from deep science all by itself. But I'm just showing you how the astronomical clock, how the sun aligns with the movements, you know, of the heavens as well, aligns with these monuments that were created basically by man, created, you know, and to glorify the heavens, where you could see the heavens being expressed in them because of their design. All right. As well, also in Chichen Itza, you see this alignment as well within the temple there, Chichen Itza. And this, you could see the axis and the summer solstice sunset. Then you have the summer solstice sunrise. All of it was built to align with the winter solstice and everything thereabout. And this is in Peru. This is Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu itself was designed for the light of the sun in the same way, to come and touch certain sacred stones on, again, the equinoxes and the solstices. So I only run through all of this, you know. Angkor Wat, this is in Cambodia, in Angkor itself. Angkor Wat and Angkor Thom and the beyond, all of them built to align again with the equinox. You see it over the temple now. This is the equinox. You see the sun setting over the temple in such a magnificent way, just crowning the middle temple itself. And all of these magnificent monuments were built to align with such the sun. And as you could see in the case of the pyramids, the stars. Now, this is deep, because right here in Antigua, just as you saw a moment ago, there are several megalithic sites. In fact, there are sites where you have megaliths. They're not buildings, for example, Stonehenge, but they were arranged, you know, again in France as well, but they were arranged. You know, even in ancient Africa, you have Nabta Playa, but these stone structures, they were arranged by human beings. Nothing wrong with them. In fact, it shows the knowledge that we had at that time. But what I'm saying about Green Castle Hill, it was not arranged. At least it was not arranged by nobody with hand and foot and mouth and eyes. It was arranged by a deeper spirit. It was arranged by Mother Earth. You understand? The reason why these rocks align with the stars is because it's magnetism. It's nothing spooky. It's just natural. Because remember, before they became rocks, they were molten lava. If our theory is true, and they are volcanic, and they're coming out of the earth. So obviously they were there more than 5,000 years ago, because for this process to take place, it would have to take at least tens of thousands of years. So the science of this goes even beyond some of the monuments all of the monuments that even I just showed you a moment ago, as if their understanding of alignment was taken from here. This is very, very serious. We must understand how important this hill that they are destroying is. So this is why you see us bring a strong awareness to the hill. We are still studying this hill. Up to now, we are every time we go up there, we learn something new, because it's researching. There's certain alignments that I have already picked up. I honestly believe that I have unraveled more alignments than even Dr. Mara Imbert. Not because I'm not Dr. Priest Isaac. That's how it is with people. They don't respect you unless it's Dr. this, PhD, and a couple degrees and letters and all of that stuff. But Christ himself, they said that of Christ, who is he that hath no letters? That be talking so with such authority. That's how it is. But I must say, as I've explained to the family already, even at this moment, we are actually doing a course within the field of archaeoastronomy, and even as we go through that course, it brings up even a more level of appreciation for Greencastle Hill. It proves that there's nothing on the planet like this hill, I'm telling you, that has been discovered then, where it naturally will be aligning with the movements of the heavens. The closest thing, now remember, of course, there are many natural rock sites all over. Rock is the earth, is planet Earth you're talking about, but the level of alignment and the type of way the rocks are structured is very deep, very, very deep. And the alignments is what stands out, the alignments, the natural alignment, and everything is very uniquely aligned. Not a stone and solstice and equinox, but just continually there's an energy being fed through the way that they are clustered together. And of course, at the top of the hill, I'm not looking for the picture there, but there's a grave at the top of the hill, similar to the Madobo Mountains in Zimbabwe, where you have Cecil Rhodes. At the top of Greencastle Hill, you have the grave of Governor Oliver Risdale, the second Earl of Bewdley. We call him Governor Baldwin around here. He was the governor of the Leeward Islands, a British man, and he's buried at the top of Greencastle Hill. So he understood the importance of Greencastle Hill, just like Cecil Rhodes was buried at the top of the Madobo Mountains. He understood the importance of the science of the boulders that were on that mountain as well. So this is very, very key. And as I said, remember that they are literally destroying this hill, for obvious reasons. You think they don't have an idea of what I'm talking about here? Since 1963, this has been going on. Imagine you're destroying this. It's not as if there's a next one to replace it. Oh, well, don't worry, we have a couple of them over on that side. No. And what has been gone, destroyed here, I'm telling you, it's gone already. It's done gone. That is why we encourage you to sign the petition, petitionsite.com, Save Greencastle Hill. That is why we even have these events. Trust me, this is all a part of the awareness. Even when you support these events, and of course, it's more than just support, you're doing yourself a favor, but you are actually supporting for real the whole aspect of this revolution, really, as it relates to saving Greencastle Hill. It's more than meets the eye. There are many things behind the scene. That is, it's not really, if you understand the art of war, it's not everything you come and be chatting. But what you need to do, as I said, we're talking about the summer solstice experience. It's just a few days from now. Definitely those of you in the diaspora, you need to be a part of this. This is 3 wonderful, exciting days, 2 hikes, the sunrise hike. So you have to have a better understanding now. The sunrise hike, we're going to be up there by 6, seeing the sun come up, watch the specific alignments. The sunset hike, we're definitely going to be watching the going down of the sun and observing the movements as it goes down and it's set. This is very, very, very important. And then, of course, we have as I said, the Thursday event. Thursdays when we have the cannabis tour and lecture. The cannabis tour and lecture. Oh, before we even get to that, remember that on Sunday, we have the griot with us. We have Paddy Simon, the griot. He'll be going into the whole aspect of Greencastle, the area. He'll be giving you some history about Greencastle Hill that I will humbly tell you that I myself cannot give you. And he'll be showing you exactly the history behind that area. Of course, as I said, they also refer to that area as Shah Hill. There's a reason why they refer to the area as Shah Hill specifically, and he will definitely go more into that. So we're looking forward to Brother Paddy Simon being a part of that with us on Sunday. Remember, if you are in Antigua, you could definitely join us on that hike, because that hike specifically will be taking place just 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Meet us at the opposite of the Ebenezer gas station. Now, as I said, the cannabis tour and lecture, that will begin it all, and that is Thursday about 1 p.m. I'm talking about Eastern Standard Time, and all of you who have already gotten your package and who will be getting your package, don't worry, we will be sending you the itinerary so you know exactly what timing. Because remember, you don't have to worry about, well, I will be at work this time, or I can't do that in the morning, or I can't do that in the evening. Don't worry, it's going to be there whenever you come home. It's just that you may not see it live, but it's going to be there that you could watch everything every single day after, it has been broadcasted. It's going to be wonderful, So the cannabis store, I'm sure everyone heard the news as they're talking about the issuing of the first license here in Antigua. But whatever the case is, those who were with us that previous time, who saw the acres of the marijuana and exactly what is taking place, this time around, you're going to see for yourself, the production and the level that the production has gone to, and definitely the industry and everything else will be definitely a full joy. I am looking forward to everyone. So remember, the full package is only $100 United States currency. Remember, that's 3 whole days. I mean, several hours a day, hike up and hike down, and ganja field tour and Rastafari experience tour and so many different things. Definitely to register, just email me, precisizer27@gmail.com. You definitely get your key and everything. Remember, payments can also be made using the Cash App, which is Atonra2723, or also there are other means and ways where the payments, in which the payments can be made. And remember, for those in Antigua, Anu, we didn't even go into that. You still need to check the other lecture for sure. You could join us Sunday, live and direct, for that summer solstice afternoon hike. Yes, family, give thanks. I hope it was uplifting. Blessed love. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari I.